I love watching politics from all sides. I watch mainstream media, the commercial media, for all its myriad flaws. I like CNN, the Fox News, MSNBC. I prefer to watch podcasts like internet-based YouTube, whatever shows, much like this one I hear. Um, but conservative ones to liberal ones to progressive ones. I'm kind of in that bubble. But libertarian ones, whatever I can find, I enjoy hearing the full scope of the argument. I think of politics much like chess. How can a chess player be that great if all he knows is his moves? If he knows nothing of the opponent's moves, then what good are his moves? They're not. Much like if I only know my own arguments, what good is that if I don't know the entire, sphere of the argument? And I find, excuse me, I find myself always modifying my worldview in tiny little increments, right? Um, Depending on what the topic is. And once in a while, I'll find, holy shit, I'm an idiot. That idea that I currently have does not work based on this new evidence or this new line of reason. So I'm going to completely swap this out for that better one. And I find myself a new type of thinker. Yeah, and I encourage everyone to think of politics like that too. It's always modifying. It's a state of flux. And if anyone ever lets you, even appears like they know everything and they're comfortable with exactly where they're at for their entire life, that he's either deluded or just a con, or she. Either way, don't let anyone fool you. Politics it's very complicated, and you always want to be watching and learning. All of that circuitous way of saying there exists a type of commentating that is not worth anybody's time. That's not worth an iota of our respect or dignity or anything. Ladies and gents, I give to you Stephen Bannon.
And that's the second term. Second term kicks off with firing Ray, firing Fauci. Now, I actually want to go a step farther, but I realize the president is a kind-hearted man and a good man. I'd actually like to go back to the old times of Tudor England. I'd put the heads on pikes, right? I'd put them at the two corners of the White House as a warning to federal bureaucrats. You either get with the program or you're gone. Time to stop playing games. Blow it all out.
This guy was a Trump-appointed chief of staff and senior advisor to the White House back in 2016. He sat in on national security meetings, by the way. Now he's advising putting doctors' heads on the stick. He's going after doctors, the most innocent group of professionals I can imagine out there. I can maybe think a sketchy lawyer, but honestly, this type of line of debate is just below all of us. It's subhuman. It's in the mud. It's below the mud. It's like in the sewage, in a swamp out there. It's disgusting. And now, look, it need only take one socially deprived loser sitting in his mother's basement, checking out Stephen Bannon's video and deciding he wants to take up a cause. He wants to be a hero. He wants to be a patriot. We have no shortage of these stories of people with weapons or bombs wanting to become what they feel is a patriotic service to their country. Now, remember Pizzagate back in 2016, where a kid went up from North Carolina. I think he was like 18 to 23 to 25 old, that age range, and he took his AR-15 to a pizza place in Washington, D.C., and shot off around, demanded, whatever, to see Hillary Clinton in the basement of that pizza place to find the sex trafficking ring, the child sex trafficking ring she was running. Needless to say, there was no Hillary Clinton. There was no sex trafficking ring. There wasn't even a basement. And, the police came and took him away. But this kid got he's got inspired from online chat rooms and online forums based off shit talk, much like this. Just being inspired because of a skewed worldview. Words matter. Ideas that come out of your mouth matter. We have a certain percentage of the country that does not view it this way. And these are the things that will happen. Inevitably, invariably, they will happen. And we now have a time in our country where I'm not saying all things are right, all things are good. It'd be super naive to think magically all things are better. Post-Trump, it may appear things won't get better anytime soon. But we do have an opportunity here to lead a nation in civil discourse now. Now that Democrats are taking over the White House, they have an opportunity to not call the media the enemy of the state, for instance. For all their flaws and I can write a book of all the things I criticize the media about daily. I hear something daily, and it bugs me to no end. But they are not the enemy of the people, and that's a sort of authoritarian words that come out of, well, the last person that said it, last president, was Richard Nixon. That kind of tells you, the context here. But the point to all this is, next time some swamp sewage type creature comes out saying shit like, put this doctor's head on the stick to send a message, the sort of mob boss mentality, maybe if we keep progressing with civil and rational discourse, we can just ignore that type of mode of language next time that pops up. Because the point is, we have so much fixing to do. We have so much work to be done in politics alone, in America alone, that this type of language is something that we cannot have time to sort out. We cannot have time to stick in the mud, to stay in that mud with those guys and just battle it out. I'm going to have some future videos pertaining to that sort of mentality, but I just wanted to say, like, this is disgusting stuff. And this is the type of people that Trump surrounded himself with. Now that he's out of office, things aren't magically better, but we can actually start to try. So it's like everything starts in the grassroots, starts with people. If people like you and I, working people, start speaking up with dignity and respect about our institutions, about each other, maybe that can spread. Because Lord knows the toxicity that spread in the Trump government, that spread like wildfire. Maybe we can spin that and spread the positivity, because Lord knows we need it.